Hello, and welcome to another installment of DeKalb Talks Tourism. We're excited today to have Amanda Dyson-Thornton. We met really more recently, but tell us about yourself.
Hi, James. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
I'm thrilled.
It's very exciting because I know with who you represent, we wanted to get you on really quickly.
That's so fun.
But you also have just such a great history of being in tourism. So kind of tell us, are you from Atlanta?
Sure, yeah.
So just kind of tell us the background.
Well, thank you. My name is Amanda Dyson-Thornton. I'm the executive director of the Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau. I am a native Atlantan. I'm actually a third-generation native Atlantan. My grandmother was born here. My mom and my sister and I were born here. I'm actually a native DeKalb County resident.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes, how about that? I was born at DeKalb General. I won't say when, but it was a long time ago.
Which one was? What would be DeKalb General today?
I think it's an Emory now. An Emory right there off of DeKalb Industrial.
Okay. Yes, Emory.
Yep, so Decatur.
Yep.
I'm from Decatur. And then moved up to Johns Creek and graduated from Chattahoochee High School. Go Cougars. And then I went to college in Valdosta State University.
Yes.
Go Blazers. I was a theater major there and have a bachelor's degree of fine arts from Valdosta. So, born and raised right here in Atlanta. I love the state of Georgia. I think going to school in Valdosta opened my eyes to the whole state, which was lovely. That's what I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to represent the state at GACVB, and then I'm thrilled to be here with you today.
I actually lived a year or two in Valdosta.
No way.
I used to be the director of sales of, back then, it was this giant Holiday Inn.
Okay.
It had like 10 buildings.
10 buildings?
You needed like a golf cart to do a site visit.
In Valdosta?
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
I was going to say.
I think it's the Drury Inn now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we had two pools, and we could break up family reunions in buildings and
James,
pools.
What do you know?
It's very cool.
Did you go to any plays at the theater? At the school? Just say yes.
No, I did have a really good relationship with the athletic department.
Okay.
So I didn't do really much in the arts, but had a great relationship with sports.
Oh, I bet. Yep.
So,
I played tennis there for a long time, so I loved it.
Wow. Oh, God. I think that's the coach that I used to do a lot of business with.
When were you there?
Oh, God, that was, so I've been married, 26 and a half years, so that would have been 30-some years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Right on. I love Valdosta. It just holds a special place in my heart.
Hot.
It is very hot.
Very hot.
Yes. And it's a different kind of hot down there. It's thick.
And very buggy.
There were some bugs, yes, but it was charming and lovely. And
it really
beautiful.
is. And
the campus is gorgeous.
Yes.
And the theater program is the only one of its kind still. So
that's very cool.
Give a quick shout out to the Wheelers and all their hard work and making this program what it is today.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you had a theater background.
I have a theater degree, James.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have a stage management focus. So
my son was actually a stage manager for several years when he was in high school.
No way.
Yeah.
At Lakeside?
Yes.
No way. They're doing a great production right now that I'm excited about. They've got a great drama program there.
They really do.
That's awesome. My love for drama started in high school. I had an amazing teacher named Phil Campbell at Chattahoochee, and he literally, this sounds so dramatic, but he changed my life. He saw me, and he paid attention to me, and he was hard on me, and he really just brought me into my own. And he is the one that recommended to go to Valdosta State. He had a lot of graduates go to Valdosta and study theater down there. So my whole life just took a shift with Campbell and, finding the theater program. So I tell everybody, if they're even remotely interested in drama in high school, to get involved, because I think it's a great group of people and it develops so many different life skills. So I think it's important.
Well, now I'm going to jump way to the end of the podcast, but just bring it up to today. What do you think of the film and entertainment for Georgia?
What a great question, James. It is the topic of conversation everywhere I go. It is hot. We are happening. That term Yollywood, people either love it or hate it, but it is real. Every single destination that I talk to has a film division, has a film department, has a film person, a film program. We're working on film tax incentives as we speak. Tomorrow's crossover day at the Capitol, and we have a lot going on down there to protect that world and just to keep it coming. I mean, the different studios that are all over the city and the state. And then I think the focus right now is to just utilize the entire state, right? There's a lot of studios here in Metro Atlanta, but I think getting them to the more rural destinations, getting the filmmakers to the rural destinations to show them, everything we have in this awesome state is crucial. So we're working on it.
Because the more films, the more production studios,
Yes.
the more business,
Yes.
it's good for everybody.
It's good for everybody. And it just keeps us on everybody's radar from that point of view. So
I mean,
agreed.
we've been very happy with in DeKalb with having the new assembly.
Yes.
And then, of course, Electric Owl being
Yep.
another new one.
Yep.
Third Rail being a little older, but still pretty new.
Right.
And I always forget the new Black Hall. Black Hall Studios.
Oh, yes. We just talked about that on Mike's Fam.
Man.
I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
I guess I knew it was Black Hall for so long that I
Yes,
just
but
can't
don't
seem
know the
to
new one, but he
pick
talked
up
about
the
it.
new one.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause
But it's
that's a huge
exciting.
studio.
And then everything that goes around it, especially assembly, like that area is just growing. As a native Atlantan, of course, I remember it as the GM,
Oh, yeah.
facility. And just where it is, it's so centrally located. It's so close to everything. So, and then everything that's going to go around it, And Chamblee being so close.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Chamblee is one of my favorites. One of them. I hope you heard that. I do not have favorites. but
Right,
one
right,
of
right.
my favorites is that downtown Chamblee. So.
Well, the nice thing about where Assembly and Third Rail is just really right around the corner from downtown Chamblee.
Absolutely.
I mean, with the growth in downtown Chamblee, with the growth of with Assembly in Doraville, and the PDK being the second
Right there.
busiest airport in the state of Georgia, and
Absolutely.
the growth going on there with new hangars, which means new corporate jets coming in, which means new corporate offices can relocate here.
Yep. Right. Just economic development is what I'm hearing,
Yep.
James. Lots of economic development.
Oh,
and I
we
love
love it.
Just the last week, your team took us to the new exhibition hall in Doraville, it's currently showing King Tut and the Van Gogh. Oh, blew me away. Blew everybody on the tour away. And to have that right here in Doraville, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
an
a shiny
amazing
rock.
place.
It was
I mean,
gorgeous. Yeah.
50,000 square feet with two 25,000 square foot exhibition halls, and
Unbelievable.
changes out throughout the year. And
That is so cool. So I loved it.
the other nice thing is I think we're going to actually have a podcast on it or something, but you can tie in Pullman Yard with Doraville and do two different types of immersion activities
How
and stay
cool.
right here.
I love Pullman Yard too.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So that just gives us even more of a win-win scenario tying those two developments
Absolutely.
in.
And right here in DeKalb County.
Yep.
So good for you.
So have you been up to the Jewel Box yet?
I have not. We
Oh, my
talked about
God.
it though. Yep. Tell me. Everybody
The
loves
Jewel
it.
Box is one of the most phenomenal facilities in Atlanta.
That is what everyone has said.
Yeah.
It's on my list. So where is it exactly?
The Jewel Box is in the Gray TV corporate headquarters, the top floor,
Yep.
just all glass on three sides and a little bit on the back side, and it's just a beautiful view of Assembly, just appointed to the finest furniture and
Oh,
details.
right. All
and
bougie up there. Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
it's amazing.
I love it. That's great. I love that
Yeah.
kind of place.
So we've kind of jumped all around. Well, let's come back to your role. What did you do before being executive director of GACVB, Georgia Association Convention and Visitor Bureaus?
Right, all these acronyms. I was at the ACVB before I was at the GACVB, the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau. I started back in 2004, and I was hired in the tourism department. So I worked in tourism for a little while, and then I shifted over to marketing, and then I left my full-time role at ACVB, and I was a part-time concierge at the Georgia World Congress Center. Still on the payroll with ACVB, but just part-time. My two babies were born at that time, so I was trying to make all that happen.
Right.
And then I came back full-time in 2015 in the sales department. And then I shifted down to the membership department. So the most recent job I had at ACVB was the director of membership, corporate events, and visitor services for ACVB. So
Wow,
it was
that's
a long time there with lots of different hats.
a lot of different hats, a little bit of everything, it sounds like, but
Yeah.
then getting into memberships and events with
Love
Atlanta's got to be
Oh,
phenomenal.
so fun. And it corresponds with my stage management background. I mean, putting on an event is putting on an event, right? I had a small stint at wedding coordinating. I was a wedding coordinator for about 10 years. It was like a moonlighting gig I did before kids when I had time to do stuff like that. But it's same thing, planning a wedding, planning an event, planning, running a theater production. So my heart's at events. I love them so much. And I love destinations, and I love the state of Georgia. So it just all kind of came together for me, which I'm really lucky, really excited about.
So tell us about GACVB.
Great. Okay. So Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureaus. So convention and visitors bureaus are destination marketing organizations that get money from hotel motel tax, right? And some CVBs also are membership-based organizations, so they get membership revenue as well. So the Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau is an association of all the CVBs and DMOs that are one and the same and also two separate things in the state of Georgia. So we have 3 pillars that we are focused on. They are advocacy, education, and leadership. So we advocate for, again, that hotel motel tax. CVB's main revenue generator, like I said, is hotel motel tax. And so making sure that we are represented under the Gold Dome and that our legislators and the government understand our priorities and what our economic impact is crucial. Then, of course, educating our members, educating our industry on trends. AI is a huge topic of conversation right now. Film, of course, is a huge topic of conversation. So just having that education outlet is crucial, and being that liaison for our members. And then leadership, making sure that our leaders know how to lead and know what to do. There's a great partnership we have with the University of Georgia, the Carl Vinson Institute, where it teaches our legislators about the importance of the hospitality industry, the hotel motel tax, how to work with it, how to advocate for it. So I think teaching our leaders how to lead in our industry is also important. So that's GACVB. And then on the fun side, is we're networking, and we don't want anybody to have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
And we're all in this together. We like to say that we're the hospitable South. So we're not enemies. We're not competitors. We're just trying to bring business to Georgia. And so just having that place where we can all come together and work together, I think is crucial.
Well, I think you hit upon something that for years that I've noticed being here more than probably any other area is that we as CVBs and cities or counties think very, very differently, and their view of what we do is pretty much almost opposite of how we think. But it's also the fact that they do need the education, because the thing about what we do is we are economic development.
Yes, exactly.
And the thing that really many times the cities don't understand is the more money we bring in from hotels, the more money they have in their general fund, the more money that we can spend to bring in more business that generates them more money in their general fund. So if we really push the concept of bringing people in to stay, it's better for their economy, it's better for their quality of life, because we're supporting then their festivals and events, we're supporting their local restaurants, their hotels, their local retail, gas, bakeries, or we're supporting everything that city has. So if we can just get them to understand that we're not just spending money, we're spending money to bring people here to spend money.
Absolutely.
So
exactly. You hit the nail on the head, James. That's exactly right. And just, it's simple conversation. It's not hard, but there's a technique and sort of a knowledge base that we're here to tell them, and it's true economic development. As many of our listeners probably know, we're the second largest economic impact in Georgia, second to chickens. So that's a big deal. And we're bringing in a lot of revenue for the state. And so making sure that continues to be that way and that we're doing it the right way is important.
Well, we do have the National Egg and Poultry Foundation down the block.
Right here
in Decker.
I know, I love them. They're near and dear to our heart for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, you started with GACVB first of the year.
Yep, January 2nd, 2024.
So we're so excited to have you. It's
James.
Still in February.
Yes.
To have you already on our podcast
Thank you
show.
for inviting me.
And then, your predecessor, Jay,
Yes.
did a phenomenal job at GACVB, and now he's moved up to Director of Explorer Georgia. I think we're going to have him on the show coming up pretty soon.
Oh, I hope so.
It's so cool because you already, I think, had a great working relationship.
We did.
Jay has a great relationship with the CVBs, now going to the state.
It's perfect.
You coming, just bringing and keeping that great relationship with us. And so it's just such a win-win scenario to have you here now, have Jay there now, and all of us just working and moving forward.
I agree. I totally agree. Jay and I went to marketing college, STS Marketing College together. We both graduated back in 2009, I believe. And so I've known Jay for a long time, followed his career, and he's always been kind of a resource for me, and hopefully vice versa. But so it's just a dream to be able to have him at the state and me just step in his footsteps. The legacy that he has created for GACVB is tremendous. So
it's nice there was
honored.
no gap.
Exactly.
His first day was your first day.
Right.
So it's just like transition was just,
smooth.
You couldn't have planned it any better.
I mean, right? We tried. But I want to give a quick shout out to Jay. He's been so supportive during the transition, and his wealth of knowledge just of GACVB and of the state and of the partners and the key partners to get to know. He's just a wealth of knowledge. So we're really lucky to have him at the state.
So what's some of the key things you would like to do this year, being your first year at GACVB?
What a great question. I love that so much. I think I'm taking this first quarter to kind of get to know people. I've been in this industry for so long. I know several people, but I just want to kind of strengthen those relationships. So I've been joking that I'm on the opposite of a farewell tour. I'm on a hello tour.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get around and see our partners and see the state and see what they have to offer. Because I'm a native Atlantan and Georgian, I'm aware of the mountains and the beach and the swamp and the Midlands, and I love them. But to see them through our partners' eyes is magical, and I want to feel that enthusiasm and be able to sell it and promote it. So the first quarter, I think it's just a getting to know you. Back to some theater. So getting to know you and get to know our partners and the state on a different level. And then there's nothing that needs changed, obviously. Like we said, Jay's just laid some fantastic groundwork. Yes. But I think it's time to talk to the members. I'm hearing a lot that they want more networking opportunities. They want more round tables. They want to dig a little bit deeper. So I think this first year, I'm just going to take the temperature a little bit of our members. We're a membership-based organization, and I don't ever want them the famous membership question, what have you done for me lately? I want to just constantly do and have opportunities for the members to thrive and to network and, have advocacy pillars. I had a member call me late last night about an issue that they're dealing with, and we connected with our lobbyist, Lee Hughes, and we're moving forward with that. So I like that kind of urgency, and because I love that GACVB is a true resource. So I know that's kind of a light answer to your question, but this first year I'm literally just taking a temperature check and seeing where we can grow, because I think there's a lot of growth. Like I said earlier, this is such an amazing industry, and we're such sweet and fun people that I think we have such a glue together in this industry. So I think just taking that and taking it one step forward is going to be the key to the success of GACVB for sure. So just finding out how to do that, navigating those waters, I think is important.
One thing that's interesting is, you started January the 1st, and you've already had your GACVB annual convention.
Yeah, we just knocked that out right at the top.
It's maybe a little over a month after you started, you had this big convention?
I think it was actually like 17 days,
there you go.
James. No, but I'm not counting. But yeah, so it was absolutely baptism by fire, but it was great. I look at it now and think what a great opportunity. I got to meet so many partners at one time. It's like a pep rally for the industry and the state is when we're all together. So the energy that was created from that conference, I think just helped my momentum, and just the excitement to go forward. So But yeah, it was a very quick turnaround. But like I
Yeah.
said, Jay was instrumental, and my board, they're wonderful, and they're very supportive and very helpful. So it went off without a hitch. It was a great conference, but it was very short startup.
In some ways, it's probably pretty cool because a lot of the planning was already done.
Yes.
But then you get to kind of have your big grand
Yeah.
showing of you taking over.
That's right.
But I have to say, we are so excited to have Michael Vesio on the board of
Isn't
directors.
that great? I know.
We have been trying for several years to
Oh,
get him
really?
on. I call Jay all the time and have written letters, but we are just unbelievably excited to have Michael Vesio on, and he's excited as can be to be on the
That's
board.
fantastic. We're very lucky to have him. It's a strong onboarding process, and I think we had more people submitted to be on the board this year than ever before, from what I heard. And so it's a very strict process. There's a nominating committee, and they go through a lot of different, calls to see how they can serve on our board. So we're thrilled to have him. It's great.
Well, I know you just came up and took a tour with us.
I did. It was so fun.
The bus, I think, was almost full.
It was.
The picture of all of you
It was
all
so
in
fun.
front
And a whole bunch of different people. There was DeKalb development people, people from hotels. There was a tour company that was on the tour. Nija from the State Tourism Office was on the tour with us.
Nija's unbelievable.
She's the best, for sure.
Yeah, she comes we have bi-monthly tourism partner meetings, and I think she has made them all.
Oh, that is so great.
Yeah, she's great.
We're so lucky to have her. It was a very fun trip. And I have to say, Mike put that whole thing together, and the execution of it, I wrote him this in an email afterwards. They're hard to plan. It's like herding cats a little bit, and he crushed it.
Well, and trying to get around a county as big as this is,
Yes.
all in one day.
We were from Doraville all the way down to Callanwald, back to Tucker. I mean, it was
Down to
crazy.
Stonecrest.
It was nuts. So
Yeah, you
it was a
covered the
great
county.
day. It was a great day.
And you got to figure this is a very large county, and with traffic of Atlanta.
Yes.
And we're right in the heart of all that traffic.
Yes.
So, but that's an advantage with all the interstates we have.
That's true.
So
Yep.
you take one with the other.
That's right.
Because you can get around.
Yep, it's accessible. We just may have a lot of people on the accessibility, but
Right.
it's accessible. But my favorite part is we started at the Distillery of Modern Art in Chamblee. We took a great tour. Becky there is a rock star. And then she had us sample some of their
you got to do that.
vodkas. And the whole group sampled the vodka. And then the whole group bought a bottle of vodka.
Oh, yeah, you can't leave. I bought the peach vodka.
Yes, so did we all. We all bought the peach. That's so funny. And Mike was joking. He was like, I didn't know that we'd all have to stand in line and buy the vodka. But so it's delicious. Like, not only is it fun and a cool space, but they're
Well, you into art, it has artwork
so many art.
on the
It's
bottle.
so cool. Yeah, for the different flavors, it's different artwork. I love that. So anyway, it was a great day. So I was thrilled to be invited.
Well, hope you come back because we're going to be doing a sports partnership meeting.
Awesome.
In March, and then we're going to do a large film panel entertainment meeting in May out at Assembly.
Fantastic.
So
yep, that's
we welcome
I'm there.
you back at any
I would
of these.
love
and all
to be
these.
there for sure. Yes. Thank you.
So do you have any really great stories from your tourism experiences, whether at ACVB and all the different positions you had, or with this new convention you just had?
Yeah.
Or just traveling around the state trying to get to know everybody again? Any really memorable stories?
I think it starts with my parents. So, and their outlook on life and enthusiasm for the state of Georgia. So my dad was a lobbyist back in the day, and he lobbied for business and tourism for Georgia. In fact, Jimmy Carter was going to veto building the Georgia World Congress Center unless my dad chaired the building.
Oh.
And so my dad agreed to chair the building. He took it unpaid, and he just found the money, lobbied for the money, found the money to build the Congress Center, and just knew the economic impact that would have on the whole state. And so the Georgia World Congress Center, I like to say, is built because my dad chaired it. In fact, his name is on the wall there. Big deal.
That is so cool.
I know. But that's, my dad's background. And then my mom worked for GHTA, Georgia Hospitality and Travel Association, back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And their main job was to bring hoteliers, restaurants, tourism together to the table and have the conversation, which is essentially the same conversation I am having now. So my story is that it's in my blood, right? And I joke that I've been stuffing name badges my whole life, right? Names and name badges. That just putting on events and bringing people together and talking about economic development is so important. And so seeing the enthusiasm through my parents' eyes, I think lit my enthusiasm, right? And I think when you see the state or anything you're doing, but in my particular line of work, see the state, see the tourism assets that we have enthusiastically, it just makes everything so fun. And then the stories just present themselves. I mean, the most recent thing I did at ACVB was we hosted ASAE, and I was in charge of putting together the city tours with my dear friend Joanne Hayden Miller. And it was so fun. And to bring the partners together and showcase Atlanta, Final Fours, Super Bowls, you name it. IPPE, when IPPE comes to Atlanta in January every year, bringing the partners together to showcase Atlanta and now the state of Georgia is so, I hate to say the word fun, but it's so fun. We have such a great product. And so I think just, and then working together, I think one of my favorite parts of the conference that you mentioned earlier that we had, GACVB, earlier this year in Cartersville, was getting to know Stephen in Cartersville better and working with him on this really unique, we work together in a really unique way. We're not just co-workers. We're not just come together at meetings. We're in the trenches together, the trenches of hospitality, which are not horrible. But and getting to know your board from that point of view and putting together meetings and putting on conferences and solving problems. It's such a unique line of work. And so I think just navigating through that with a positive attitude is the best story to tell. I think it just reflects life, very easily.
Well, on the Cartersville, he's got a beautiful convention center.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Great destination with multiple big attractions.
Yes, Museum City.
Yeah.
There's so many great museums up there. And he and his team are fantastic. So they crushed it. But,
he does a great job. But I want to switch. I did not realize your mother was so involved in tourism. I have to say that when I was prepping to meet for lunch a while back, Bill Hardman.
Oh yeah.
He was he was our first director at this Convention and
That's
Visitor
right.
Bureau, and of course he was the second director of Southeast Tourism Society.
Yeah.
He was telling me about your dad.
Oh really?
And I did some research on your dad. So I mean, yeah, your legacy between your dad and what now I've learned about your mom.
Yeah.
And Bill said that your dad was like his mentor.
He was. That's what Bill's
And
told
Bill's
me.
a mentor for me, and
Oh.
probably
I love that.
huge amounts of people inside the state of Georgia.
Oh, for sure.
Because Bill has influenced my life. I don't really know if I would even be here if it wasn't for Bill
Oh my
in this
gosh,
job.
James, that's huge.
Yeah, so Bill's just been a huge impact on my life, and your dad was a huge impact on his life. So
I love
it's
that.
very cool how the tourism world just kind of builds on each other and just supports each other. And one of the things you were saying, you were having fun. If you're not having fun in this job, then there's something wrong. You're not meant to be in this
You're
job.
absolutely right. That is dead on.
'Cause
Yes.
you might be tired and long hours and a lot of work, but again, if you're not having fun, then you're definitely doing something wrong.
I agree.
'Cause-
I mean, it's called the hospitality business for a
Yep.
reason. So, yeah. So I would love to give a shout out to GACVB real quick, right? At
Sure.
our website. So it's gacvb.com. And one of the things I want people to start thinking about now, every year at our annual conference, which is usually the end of January, early February, we give away or present DMOs with the Georgia Tourism Awards, and we are partners with Georgia Trend Magazine and do Trailblazer Awards.
Well, we should go get our award. We can show it.
Yes, you guys just won one, which is
We are
great.
so
For-
excited.
What was it? Eastside Hops, right?
Yes, and we didn't even apply for that. It just came out.
It was
it was so
perfect.
cool that in that one, the Eastside Hops Trail is a beer trail in DeKalb County, and it's a joint program between the city of Decatur, Avondale Estates, and of course us with DeKalb. So it was such a cool
Love it.
opportunity and honor to win that.
And that is a perfect example of who and what should be talked about and nominated and won. I mean, that is so innovative, and it's such a cool partnership. So it just hits all the different check parts, right? It's
Yep.
innovative, it's cool, it's new, everybody loves beer, right? And then the partnerships that you worked with.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. So but I think what happens is as awards season kind of sneaks up on you, you think, oh no, I got to submit an award. So what I want to do is just get the word out. now for people to start thinking, what are they doing this year? What have they done? Let's start putting that awards process together. So all the information on submitting your nomination for those awards are on our website. And again, it's just GACVB.com, and it's for the Georgia Tourism Awards and the Trailblazer Awards. And that is, like I said, a partnership with Georgia Trend magazine. So, and again, it's just like you said, the press releases that you can send after that. It's just,
and I believe if you win the Trailblazer Award, you're going to be in Georgia Trend in like June or July.
That's correct. Isn't that cool?
So that's very cool.
And last year we were on the cover. The winner of the Trailblazer Award was on the cover of Georgia Trend. So what a great opportunity. So I just want to give that a quick plug, and have people have that on their radar, and start thinking of cool things they could be doing, and then submit it for an award.
Well, another thing you do is you have actually I don't know if it's an actual foundation, but you actually raise money to scholarships.
Yes, we give scholarships to, I'm so glad you brought that up, to Southeast Tourism Society's Marketing College. We also have scholarships for people to attend our annual conference if they need them.
Okay.
So we do have a very large line item in our budget for scholarship money, and we're honored. I think last year we sent 4 people to Marketing College, so it's a big deal, and we're honored to be part of that, so for sure.
So that's very cool, because Southeast Tourism Society Marketing College it's a 1-week basically program for getting a tourism. What is it? What's the
tourism marketing professional? TMP.
Tourism marketing professional.
Mm-hmm. And it's a designation that you could put after your name, which makes it extra fancy. But
yes.
What you learn there is just crucial, and the friendships. I mean, like I said, that's where I first met Jay, and we've stayed friends ever since. So many of our classmates. We jokingly say that we were the best class of marketing college, but I'm sure every class says that. But
oh yeah,
it was great. It's just what we learned there, and then you could go back for alumni classes to keep your knowledge base, up to date. So it's cool, but.
And then that also brings up another point. Besides Marketing College, you have your own program through Columbus State University.
We do, Leadership Institute with Columbus State University, and it's classes, and you get credit for the classes, and the classes take place at our annual conference, and then you also have the designation, so it's a big deal. We graduated, I think, 4 or 5 people this conference, and it's a wonderful partnership we have with Columbus State. So.
I can't seem to get past the same exact classes over and over and over again. It's like I look at my thing, and I'm like, okay, I've had that like 4 times. So I guess I take classes that I want.
Yes.
Versus like trying to go through, because I've already done the CDME through this Destination International, of course, TMP, and then I've done CHIA and CATA and Mississippi, same type of program in Mississippi.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, I get to the point where I just take a class that I want.
But you are a consumer of knowledge, James. Aren't you working on your PhD?
Yes. And what was funny
great.
is I had to do a mock resume, or CV, they call it, a PhD. And I had all these acronyms with my name. And the professor goes, you just need to take that off, because once you're PhD, then none of those really matter. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
That would make me want my PhD even more, where I'm like, yes, even though all those acronyms are so important, but getting to that level.
The funny thing with the acronyms, because we were doing an event over at across the street with the Schuler Institute with Chef Schuler.
Oh, yeah.
And they were looking me up and on LinkedIn. They said, man, you have so many acronyms. And I'm like, I don't know what all of them are. And I'm like, so it's kind of like, is it just ego that I'm putting all of them back there?
No, James, those are your hard work. They're showing your hard work. That's what it is.
But I'm excited. Yeah, I'm in the PhD program with Clemson for Park Rec Tourism Management.
Awesome.
And it's been phenomenal for me, because, I mean, with teaching at Georgia State as well, of course, we get Monica as one of my students. And then when I went through master's, Hisu here is we went together for the master's degree, and
because you got your master's at Georgia State,
got
right?
master's at Georgia State,
and now your PhD is working on it at Clemson.
Yes,
right on. Okay, cool.
So it's very cool, because it all just ties in together. I mean,
absolutely. Working
on papers, it ties into tourism and DeKalb and heritage.
What you're working on, of course, and then you get to find amazing whippersnappers.
I know.
That's great. But you teach classes there too, right?
I teach venue management. I've done that live one semester and asynchronous one semester, and spent a year designing the first asynchronous class for venue management.
Wow.
And this coming up is going to be my 5th year teaching international event management with the master's program.
Wow.
So actually I'm going to hit you up to come and talk to my class.
Oh, I would love that. Really?
So it's very cool. Like I break it up into themes each week. So, but I've done that for 5 years, and I tell you, Georgia State has opened so many doors for the position I have with the CVB.
Sure, of course.
So it's been great, and it's opened doors for looking at hotels, looking at conventions. Like we're going to have a signature series here. The first one's going to be on events, economic development, and community quality of life.
Yes.
And that's from a partnership between GSU and some mentors I've learned from PhD.
Brilliant.
So it's just been a phenomenal
thing. Those are like 3 of my favorite things. So when you say you theme out the different weeks, what are the themes?
We look at trying to do like outdoor recreation as a theme, esports,
cool.
Meetings, conventions. I'm sure you've got to know Phelps Hope.
Yeah, of course.
Phelps comes and he tells the most phenomenal stories. Like one of them is I think he was in China somewhere and he didn't realize that at noon they turned the electric off and shut all the lights off.
Oh, okay.
He goes, well, you didn't ask us to keep the lights on. I'm like, the convention's going till like 9 o'clock at night. Why would I think to ask to have the lights kept on?
Right.
But it was just the country's culture to do that. And he learned one time he was in some country and their version of buses and our version of buses aren't the same. And they had like more like hayride buses and sawed off school buses and all these different things. And he's like, so he tells my students all these like horror stories that you can learn from.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course, then he tells the fun stories of international and of destinations. So there's a week on that. And then in the past, I've had Brand USA.
Oh, yes.
And Grant from the MAC.
Brilliant.
Come in. And then I've had Travel South.
Oh, yeah.
Come
Liz.
in.
Great.
So it's just different themes on each time. And then I try to build it to where they learn all about the different aspects of events.
So good.
Because so many people think that it's either a convention or they think it's just a local festival.
You're right.
I actually you mentioned the Final Four and the Super Bowl. I actually had the director of the Final Four, Super Bowl, and the bowl game. It's all the same guy in my class.
Okay.
And it was the night before. He was actually talking in class. The Final Four was not going to be canceled. The Final Four was not going to be closed.
Oh, gosh.
The next morning, Final Four was closed to spectators.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget that because he honestly was saying it wasn't going to happen, and I believe he believed that.
Yeah, of course.
And then the next morning,
I don't think anyone had any idea what we were dealing with all that COVID stuff. I mean, to your point, up until the moment that we were like, oh, okay, yeah.
But the thing with COVID is it was a tough time, and I know I hated wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But COVID taught us, like when Atlanta has the World Cup, 8 games.
Yes. How about that?
Downtown's going to shut down. But now we've learned through COVID that we can just work at home.
Absolutely.
And not fight the traffic, let the visitors be able to get in and get out. We've learned so many things.
Yep.
From the horrible experience of going through it, but we've learned, some of the takeaways have been
I agree.
Life-changing.
Agreed. Well, I think we took, it's survival, right? Where we took this weird situation, horrible. It took some people's life, all the things. And we had to survive through it and figure out how to survive. And now, the perks of that, if you will, are all the technology and the infrastructure that we have to work remote, work from home, or communicate. I think the word work from home, it's just communicate from remote locations, right? And be able to work together as a team. I know the infrastructure, our team at the ACVB just was phenomenal with all of that and making sure that we were up to date with Teams, and we all lived and breathed on Teams, and it was wonderful. It was almost as if we were all in the office, and I really, from my point of view, our productivity didn't slow down one bit. In fact, I think some of us worked harder than ever during those times.
Because many times when you're at home, you just never leave. I mean, you're just nonstop.
Correct.
Well, and I think when COVID first hit, you thought it was going to be a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I was doing certifications, and I got tons of certifications. And
see, that's your quest for knowledge. I love that.
Well, if you remember, Florida Atlantic did that certification.
Yes, that's right.
They thought it was going to be a couple hundred, and it was several thousand, and they had to do 2 sections of it.
That's so smart.
That was all hit during COVID.
Yep, exactly. I remember that. That's exactly right. But then those of us that were also home trying to work from home, and then our kids were virtually learning, Yeah, it took some years off my life for sure. We're
Oh,
all
yeah.
trying to get on a Zoom at the same time, but we figured it out, and here we are. We're
Well,
better
it's
for it.
interesting because two of my sons have not. Well, my oldest son has gone to class one semester
Oh,
live, one class in school downtown Georgia State. But all the other classes, and my middle son has not yet even gone to the campus,
oh,
and he's almost finished his bachelor's degree.
you are kidding. They're all virtual?
When they
Yeah.
plan it, like if they're not virtual, they look for it, and they're finding in universities they're having to go more and more synchronous or asynchronous online classes because it's what people want and need. Like, I wouldn't do PhD without being able to do it online.
Good point.
Good
point. Absolutely. And there's probably pluses and minuses to all of that. I mean, to get it done for the certain person, but then I know that like college life is such a growth opportunity for people to live on campus. So I don't know. It just depends on your personality. But
true.
to have the option, I think is great. And that's where we are. That's, the forced infrastructure change that happened, which is great.
Well, I will say the nice thing, because I remember years before that, I can't actually remember what happened, but we were all looking at virtual meetings because it wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
It was like years before that.
Uh-huh.
And, it's still, I think virtual meetings in our world are good when it's a simple meeting. And instead of like in Atlanta driving an hour to have a 30-minute meeting, drive an hour to come back, you can get a lot more work done.
Sure.
But so those type of meetings are perfect. And I love the fact we got Zoom
Yes.
and Teams for those type of meetings.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I was actually able to do 3 back-to-back
Good point.
Zoom meetings or Teams meetings where I could accomplish so much more where I wouldn't have been able to. But with that said,
Yes.
there's still nothing like
Yes.
doing what you said, getting together,
Yes.
learning, socializing, and learning from the socializing. 'Cause
Yes.
I learn more, I think, from just being in the hallway at the meetings than I do inside the class.
100%. I agree with that 100%. And, William Pate always says we're in the face-to-face meeting business. And there's nothing that can there's nothing like meeting in person. So you're absolutely right. From an efficiency point of view, the Zoom calls and the virtual meetings are fantastic to have that opportunity. But the meat and potatoes of it is, we're social beings, right? We're to be together and learning from those experiences. And, I joke with my kids all the time that, like, it's also important to struggle in the traffic and to allow time to sit through the traffic and allow time to park. Like, that just creates your character and problem solving. So getting to the meeting and then presenting yourself at the meeting and then coming home and allocating the time, it's all part of life. So I just think it's important. It's still important to meet. And then, of course, especially in our industry, come to the
our industry
destinations.
revolves around you
It
coming
does.
together, whether it's for a
Absolutely.
convention, a family reunion, a sporting event,
For sure.
film.
Absolutely. Sports, 100%. Yeah. And then we have our next Tourism Talk Luncheon right here in DeKalb County.
Oh, when
The
is that?
date is to be determined, but it's coming up very soon, so it's in May. I'm working with Mike and our amazing partners here in DeKalb County for our first Tourism Talk Luncheon. But I think we introduced those for the first time last year. And they
Savannah.
were a huge, Savannah, and then we did one in Marietta. Huge success. Everyone is still talking about them. So we are just going to continue taking those on the road and getting people together and having, featured conversations about tourism, getting everybody in the room. Again, there you go. We can have some Zoom calls about certain things, and then
Right.
sometimes we just all want to get together. And if you can connect a room block with that, even better.
Well, we're excited to have you all. I mean, we haven't, obviously, it's only been a few of them.
Yeah, right.
But we're excited to be, I guess, number 3 on the list.
Yeah, isn't that great?
So that's going to be phenomenal
Yep,
for
that's
us.
Mike and his board position. He was like, we want to do this. I want to make something happen soon. And then your product here. So it looks like that's what's going to happen next. So that's next on our list. And as soon as we get the date nailed down, we'll get it out on all of our socials and on our website, of course, because we really want a lot of people to come to that. And then our group sales symposium is still on the books for this fall. So more to come on that, but that RFP is going out in the next couple of weeks. So we would love for our awesome partners to submit their proposals to host the group sales
Where was
symposium.
that last year?
Last year was in Brookhaven, which
Okay,
was gorgeous. Yes. And a great meeting. So we're excited about having that again this fall. And then very exciting, our 2025 annual conference is confirmed for Gwinnett County up at their new conference center. So much cool stuff happening around the city and great partner around the state. So much cool stuff happening around the state. And, just our partners wanting to showcase themselves and all the things that they can showcase. It's just
Gwinnett's had
amazing.
explosions of hotels,
Explosion.
high-end hotels, great meeting facilities.
For
so
sure.
they've really done
Yep.
a phenomenal job
That
with
Westin
its
up there is
expansion.
gorgeous.
The
Yes.
Westin Embassy Suites, the
Yes.
Holiday Inn.
It's
I mean,
great.
all on that campus for the
Right.
convention center.
Yep, exactly. So to be able to showcase that to our partners, but all across the state. So, there's a lot going on with us. Very exciting times. I just did a presentation to PCMA a couple weeks ago, and they really wanted me to focus on new development. And they wanted my presentation to stay at 10 minutes. And every time I rehearsed it, I was like in the 15 to 18 minute time because there is so much new development going on around the state. That's crucial to our meeting planners, right? That they want to hear. I mean, there's lots of new development going on economic development wise, but I'm talking specific to meeting planners that they would want to know what's happening around the state. So I was proud of that. It's just exciting. It's exciting times. And the meeting planners, the response afterwards was just, oh, how do I get in touch with this? This is so fun. It's so exciting. So,
It's hard because if you have anything going on at all, it's hard to do a 10-minute presentation.
it is. It
Because
is.
I do city presentations, they say 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm kind of like, that's tough
It is
because we're
tough.
doing so much for you. But then on the other side of it is you want to share so much because
Yes.
it's such cool stuff that we do.
Such cool stuff.
And things you're
Exactly.
putting together. I mean, it's just a great opportunity, great time to share.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It was so fun. And there's so much. I mean, really, the growth in the state of Georgia is unlike it's ever been before. I mean, we are in a really special time in our history. And I think just, being able to showcase that and working with the development authorities across the state is everything. I mean, it's just going to continue to drive our economic development.
Oh, definitely.
So it's great.
Well, I like to say, we'd like to welcome you back anytime.
Well, thank you
You got
so
big
much.
news or something you want to share? We
Okay.
can bring you back on
I
the
would
show.
love
and-
that very much. This has
So-
been a total honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you all for tuning in. Please tune in to our next show.